saying you could not hold that post-mortem on the hashtag #EndSARS protest, and that there should be no talk about the resurrection of the movement of the People Party. What then transpired? What exactly happened? Do you want to share with us how the police went about frustrating that attempt, and then how you handled it?
Well, you know, the Nigerian security forces in general often use bullying tactics, you know, when it comes to anything that has to do with opposition to the incumbent administration. You know, I think generally the Nigerian police force called my mom. I said my mom, well, she's like my mom now, my eldest sister.
Yeah,
you know, Sister Yeni, and you know, told her we couldn't have the event because, you know, it had the hashtag #EndSARS on it. Now, it is important to note that this was a meeting, not an event, not a protest. It was a meeting to discuss #EndSARS lessons and tasks. You understand? But we wanted to do the meeting with the Nigerian people present too, so that we could hear from the people of this country, because their voice matters as well. But because our own government, right from time, do not take the ideas, the opinions, the voice of the Nigerian people to mean anything significant in their own decision-making process, you know, they didn't see any reason why anything with people is not protest. So basically what happened was that they banned the meeting from, that's why I just felt really like thrown by the whole situation. Like, this is a meeting. You know, it is not a protest. For the government to ban a meeting is taking this whole tyrannical structure to another level. You know, we are back basically to the Abacha days now, where people cannot even associate or gather, you know, and not expect any kind of oppression from the government. You know, so for me, that was really what the issue was surrounding it. So I said to my people, you know, I mean, if the government is not going to allow us enter the shrine and create some kind of issue around that, we have to maneuver, create a plan B, where the core of the event and the message that I wanted to pass to the people of Nigeria was still going to happen. Many of the comrades that I work with, no, not really, they were not even really part of it, but, you know, many of the revolution now, people were like, oh, it's cowardly if you don't go to the venue. You know, but for me, that was not tactical at all, because if you don't go to the venue, if we go to the venue and start interacting with the police and altercations and all that, we will never pass our message across. We'll spend the whole day on the streets running up and down. You know, so for me, passing the message was paramount on the day. So we got another space, let the press know, and everybody came around, and we were able to pass our message to the people of this country, which was all these great left organizations coming together to create, once again, an alliance called the Movement of the People. You know, for me, that was a great step on that day. And what was ironical was that while the state government, you know, and security forces were claiming that they wanted peace in Lagos, and that's why we couldn't have our meeting, these same people were going to Amuwo, Dofin, local government, Oshodi, even up to Ikeja along, harassing Okada men and destroying the whole town all over again, seizing people's Okada, leading to violence against, you know, violence against the Okada riders in Lagos, you know. So it was, for me, really the excuse they gave was contradicting their own actions of that same day, you know.
Right. So in your publicized agenda, which caused the police to send you that letter asking you to suspend the meeting, that's the word they use. You use the word ban. I'd actually like you to expand on that. Was it really a ban? I want you to talk about that. And I also want to know your thoughts. I want to know your opinion, because you wrote there, #EndSARS, lessons and tasks. And that task aspect is crucially important. What are the tasks going forward in the aftermath of the #EndSARS protests?
Well, I have to use ban. Ban is the word, because if it was just an advice for us not to hold it, then I'm an adult, you know, it's my choice to take the advice or not. I'm 37 years old. You know, I also like to add that throughout all this, the police did not call me, write me a letter, contact me. You know, they used the same style of oppression that they've been using to hold young people in Nigeria down forever, which is infantilization. You know, no matter how old you are, I'm older than you, you know, so they infantilized me, calling my senior sister to talk to me, and I mean, it was just so insulting in that aspect. You know, but what I'm saying is a ban because they brought the police there, and the police were even preventing people from entering the shrine, you know, on that Tuesday throughout, you know. So definitely it was like a ban on the meeting, you know. They banned the meeting. They tried to, but it didn't happen. You know, even though I'd accepted, you know, I'd accepted the day before, as soon as my sister called me, I made it public that we were no longer going to have the meeting at the shrine. That's why it's important that everybody in Nigeria understands that no matter how you react to an oppressor, whether you submit to the oppressor, whether you resist the oppressor will always oppress. He will not change that part of himself. You know, so even though we said we are not doing the meeting anymore, they still came and locked the shrine. Why? You know, so for me, the task at hand for the Nigerian people is to begin to organize, to politically, you know, articulate our own hopes and aspirations. The mistake we have been making in Nigeria, you know, is that we've always agitated. You know, it's a lie when people say, oh, the past generations did not do anything. What the past generation didn't do are the things we are not doing right now. And that is capturing the energy of our own action by ourselves. You know, like in 2012, even before that, you know, we carry out action and we allow another group of elites who do not have the interest of the people at heart to capture that energy and use it to propel themselves to power. You know, so this is the mistake we must not make in this generation. You know, whatever energy we have created right now, we must capture for ourselves. You know, and that is the task that is at hand, you know.
All right, I just want to ask a few questions, Hashem. Number one will be, has the shrine been opened now? Or do you still have police presence around there?
Last I checked, yesterday there was still police presence, but the shrine was open. They allowed people to go in and stuff like that.
Okay, but there was still police presence.
Yeah.
So you talked about, you know, capturing energy politically. Not Too Young to Run passed recently, and there has been talk about political parties and political organization amongst young people. I mean, what's your take on that, and how can the young people fully, actively, politically participate in the 2023 elections? Because voter apathy, too, is another big problem in this country. I think less than 40% of the population voted in the last election.
Well, I think voter apathy is due to the lack of representation by politicians, you know, and also due to 40 years of military rule. You know, Nigerians for 40 years were banned from politics, basically. Like, we couldn't participate in any kind of political activity. So, you know, we don't have that training. But, you know, 20 years of democracy now, people are generally beginning to stir in their sleep and beginning to look into politics again, you know. And I think that the message also in all the previous elections have not really inspired the Nigerian people to activate their political side. It has not really inspired or galvanized them to want to be active participants in the politics of that time, because they say, oh, this is the same anyway. You know, but I think that with a new political message, a new political direction, and a pro-People's Party, you know, people will be more engaged. And also about the Not Too Young to Run, I'm not one that believes in the idea of youth governance. You know, I've never seen a nation that was built by the youth. I think this whole youth must rule Nigeria is a cop-out from those that are, how would I put it, the elders of society, the professionals of society. You know, because youth don't really have much. Youth don't have jobs, they don't have money, you know, but you want them to build the nation. How? You know, it is those that have the means that should do the job, but they don't want to do the job. And instead of saying the truth that, oh, we don't want to do the job, they are deflecting it. You know, the youth are the reflection of society. You know, youth are a reflection of your society, not the solution of your society. So if you want to know how your society is, you want to know how your society is working, you look at the state of your youth. They give you the exact situation report of your society, you know. And youth also is not an ideology, right? People will grow up and stop being young. Any idea or ideology that is going to liberate this country must be all-inclusive. It must include young people, old people, women, children, poor, rich, you know. all demographic. Youth is just a demographic too. All demographic, but Nigeria needs its youth for the energy that they can bring to the movement, for the energy that they can bring to nation building. You know, youths are important. You know, many of our politicians entered politics young. You know, Dimeji Bankole, I remember, Senate President, was quite young. Rotimi Amechi was quite young when he got into politics and power. Wike, quite young when he got into politics and power. People like Buhari have been in politics, you know, Mohammed has been in politics and power for a long time. You know, from when they were young, you know, so youth is not really the solution to the issue. What we need are people with dignity, self-respect, integrity, and a heart that beats for their own people, you know. Not this group of people that don't care about anything that is, in fact, I feel that they are setting Nigeria up for destruction. That's why all of them are so invested abroad. The amount of assets Nigerian rich people have abroad is alarming. You know, all their children's school there, they have houses there, they go on holiday, they are set abroad. They're just waiting for them to scatter Nigeria so they can enter their private jets and run there, run home. That is home. They want to run home. You know, that's where they spend all their time. We see all their pictures. That's where they are smiling the most, you know, and things like that. You know, and that is, in those countries, is where they have friends that are in the middle class. In Nigeria, all their friends are rich like them, or else they are not friends at all. You know, Nigeria is only a business to these people. It's not home. You know, so we that call Nigeria home must begin to build, or rather, reconstruct our home.
Well, Seun, we had Senator Adeseye Ogunlewe on this program, and we posed the question to him earlier in the week. That what did he think of what the police was doing with, you know, the Africa Shrine? And he made the point that perhaps you may have provoked the police because you were combining that postmortem on the NSAS protest with the movement of the people. So I'd like you to talk about movement of the people, what you are planning to do with that. And then you talked about the letter that was written.
Yes.
That they, to use your word, you were infantilized. You were not the person addressed in that letter. But they didn't even address anybody. That letter was addressed to the manger.
Yes, the manger of the shrine.
The manger of the shrine. So is that shrine, has it become a manger now?
Yeah, maybe because, you know, the Savior is there. You know, maybe because they realized that the Savior is in the shrine, you know, so they didn't want me to enter. They have to just ride the manger. You know, but to be quite honest, to respond to the senator, you know, his statement shows that the Nigerian political class remains anti-dialogical. They don't want a dialogue with the people of this country. They are too big. They have dehumanized us for so long that they no longer respect the Nigerian people. We are not worthy of a dialogue with them. That is the reason why you say a meeting, just because of the title of a meeting, is provocative, right? But police killing Nigerian people for over 6 decades and Nigerian people rising up finally for only 3 days, that wasn't provocative. You know, what happened in the toll gate, not provocative. The hunger in the land is not provocative. The fact that people that have private jets are hoarding Indomie noodles is not provocative. You understand? It is still the looter's fault for going there to take what is. So we understand these people's mindset. And that is what the MOP is about. You understand? The MOP is about changing this status quo. You know, saying to the oppressive elites of Nigeria that there are some of us that do not want a perfection of oppression. Because that's what happens here. As long as people are benefiting from the oppression of this country, they find ways to justify whatever atrocity that is committed by the people in power, as long as they are connected to that power. You know, so we understand all of that. And that is what is going to change, and that is what MOP is here for, to create a party, a movement that is going to definitely, you know, end this atrocious behavior of a particular set of Nigerians who have decided that things are more important than people, who exist, and they've been existing since 500 years. We've had them in our society, but the traditional African society did not validate their behavior, so they were weak. Then the white men came. Ooh! As soon as the white men came, they found